How's it going, everyone? Cyclops from Paramount Cyclops here, and Time Magazine. Wow. When I was a kid, Time Magazine used to actually mean something. Someone would be on there, and it was because they did something really great. They did something spectacular. They did something wonderful. Nowadays, not so much. So let's get into this story. Before we do, though, I would like to say that I hope I earn your subscription today. A like, a comment, a share would be epic. I work hard for you guys, and I always would and always will, and a little bit of appreciation would be really awesome. I love you guys. You're amazing, and I love talking to you. I love informing you guys, and I love hearing your opinions as well. So from the Daily Mail, Biden and Kamala Harris are awarded Time Person of the Year for 2020 over Trump and frontline COVID workers, despite only the president-elect being on the shortlist. Yeah, they didn't have anybody else in mind, just the president-elect. And what has Biden or Kamala done? Seriously, what have they done? Biden didn't even campaign. The election was pretty much just handed to him on a silver platter. What campaign did Biden do? He didn't. He hid for most of the campaign. He hid. It was given to him. What have they done to make them Person of the Year for 2020 over everybody else? What? Whew. Time Magazine used to mean something. Now it means nothing. Because all you got to do to get on it is literally do nothing. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were named Time Magazine's 2020 Person of the Year on Thursday for their election victory over Donald Trump. They didn't even campaign. So all you got to do is just have your opponent be a very disliked person, and that gives you Person of the Year. Brilliant. The Democratic pair were chosen ahead of three other finalists, frontline healthcare workers and Anthony Fauci, the racial justice movement, and President Trump. Trump has not yet responded to the news that he lost out to Biden, but he is known to have an ongoing feud with the magazine over its failure to choose him previous years. He was named Time Person of the Year in 2016. I mean, really, Trump has done quite a bit. The peace in the Middle East deals, it's a big deal. Yes, these countries did recognize each other unofficially, but do you realize how big a deal it is for a company to officially open relations with another country? Not secretly, but openly recognize Israel. That's a huge deal. And if you don't know how huge a deal that is, then you don't know politics. And maybe you should research into it so you can understand that. Coming out and publicly recognizing Israel, it's huge. Naturalizing relations with Israel and naturalizing trade with Israel is a huge deal. Yes, they have dealt with each other in secret. We deal with China in secret. We deal with Russia in secret. But do you know how huge a deal it would be if we had naturalized trade, relations, and agreements with Russia? It would be huge. World peace. World peace. So yes, this is a huge step towards peace in the Middle East. Normalizing trade and relations is great. But what has Biden done? And there's 4 nations that Trump has gotten in on this. Trump went into North Korea without any guards, without any security. And people said, oh, Trump, that's a horrible thing to do. I used to be back in the day, people would write books about leaders who had that kind of gumption. To go into an enemy territory's land without any of your own guards, no security. A sign of trust. A sign of, hey, we can be allies. We don't have to be enemies. There used to be books written about leaders back in the day who would do that. And yeah, a lot of them back in the day that books were written about were crass and rude. But they were good leaders. They got the job done. Trump's crass. He's rude. He's crude. Before Covey, The economy was on the uptick. We had no new wars. We had brokered, at that time, 2 peace deals in the Middle East. Now, 4 peace deals in the Middle East. He was brokering deals to make prescription medications in the United States the same price as the rest of the world. We in the United States pay drastically more for the exact same prescriptions that the rest of the world does because we subsidize the rest of the world's subscriptions. There are a lot of things that this rude, crude, crass man did that were good. Am I the only one capable of looking at it without a partisan hat on and say, it's the president, and what has the president done? Is he rude? Is he crude? Is he crass? Is he not know when to speak? Does he have no filter between his brain and his mouth, or his brain and his thumb when it comes to Twitter? Yeah, true. Guilty on all charges. But then look at what he's done. That a lot of people don't even know he's done. Operation Warp Speed, my God. Some people think Operation Warp Speed was a Democrat program. No! Operation Warp Speed was Trump's program. How do you get time of the year for doing literally nothing? He didn't run. Biden didn't campaign. And Kamala Harris, what has she done? What has Kamala Harris done? RoboCop. That's what they call Kamala Harris. She's an iron fist. Look at her record. Google Kamala Harris's record. She's an iron fist. She's one step shy of a dictator. Times 2020 Person of the Year magazine cover boasts portraits of Biden, 78, and Harris, 56, with the subtitle, Changing America's Story. Yes, changing America's story, but is it changing America's story for the better or for the worse? Why is it that everybody's just automatically believing and saying that just because Biden, who didn't campaign, just because Biden, whose family has shown that they use his political position for monetary gain, is in office, things are going to be perfect? What world are you living on? For changing the American story, for showing that the forces of empathy are greater than the furies of division, for sharing a vision of healing in a grieving world, Times Editor-in-Chief Edward whatever said of the choice. They haven't done anything. Brian D. Henson, lazy at time. If at Barack Obama didn't destroy the playing field, Biden wouldn't have gotten the nomination. A hawk and a cop. There could have been better. Yeah, there could have been many. Fessenthal notes, every elected president since FDR has, at some point during his team, been a person of the year, nearly a dozen of those in a presidential election year. This is the first time we have included a vice president. So what you're saying, wow, we were going to include him anyway, so we may as well just throw him in. What? Okay. Together they offered restoration and renewal in a single ticket, and America bought what they were selling, he added. I love that phrase. Oh yeah, America bought what they were selling. Because, no salesman ever in any place ever in time has ever tried to sell snake oil. Not like we even have a phrase for it called selling snake oil. Why is it everybody thinks that this is going to be the perfect administration? Look at the evidence before you. Look at the evidence that I personally have laid before you. Even if you don't get your information from anywhere else, look at the information I have laid before you. The family has a history of using political positions for monetary gain. Biden has a history of really bad gaffes. You think Trump's gaffes were bad. Just wait. What's he going to do? Call a foreign leader a horse-faced pony rider or whatever it is? Challenge a foreign leader to push-ups because he asks a hard question? What has he done to make everybody think that this is going to be just awesome and restoring America? I don't think this is going to restore America. Biden beat Trump by 306 electoral college votes to Trump's 232 to end the real estate tycoon turned politician's presidency after one term. He received roughly 7 million more votes than his Republican adversary, who is yet to concede, claiming widespread, I can't say that word, which there is no evidence. There's video. And there's 2 videos that are highly questionable. I'm not saying that they are that F word, but they are highly questionable. Tell me that those videos aren't questionable. The USB where she's hiding the USB and the weird votes that come out when nobody's there to watch the votes being counted. Tell me that that's not weird. Explain that away to me. And if you tell me that's normal operating procedure, then I'm going to be even more concerned. If normal operating procedures for these individuals to look so sketchy, then there's something wrong. I am a master of discerning nonverbal communication. People's attitudes, the way people move their bodies, the way people look, the way the air feels around somebody when they're hiding something. It has literally saved my life. I have honed those skills over many years. And I smell bullshit before most people. And I smell bullshit. Convince me, seriously, somebody convince me that those videos are just fine and up and everything's normal. How? It doesn't look very normal. That's not the normal way people behave when things are normal, when they have nothing to hide. You can glean more from nonverbal communication than you ever could from verbal communication, let me tell you that. Time praised the Democratic ticket for ousting an incumbent president for just the 10th time in U.S. history. Biden and Harris had to revive the party's fading strength with white voters without college degrees, energize its emerging base of diverse urban young voters, and motivate the hordes of angry suburbanites, particularly college graduates and women who had fled the Trump-era GOP, it wrote. They sold you snake oil. I love that phrase above. The American people bought what the Kamala's Biden administration was selling. You bought it. Now, can you swallow it? Can you take it? And if so, what are the side effects? Well, we will find out. Harris is the first vice president-elect ever to be named Person of the Year. Those are my thoughts and opinions. Why? What have they done? What have they done? I don't know. And I'm not a Trump supporter, but good God, my own party, the Democrats, because I'm a registered Democrat, my own party makes me sound like a Republican Trump supporter, because they've gone so far off the rails and attacking that it's like, wait a second, I don't believe in that mudslinging. If it was the reverse, if Republicans were stifling, if the mainstream media was stifling Democrats, there we go. If the mainstream media was stifling Democrats and touting the greatness of Republicans as much as they are doing the reverse right now, I would be saying the reverse that I am now. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Gosh, I hope I have earned a like, a comment, and a subscribe would be absolutely epic. I'll see you guys on the next one.